Hello. How's it going, everyone? Let's go ahead and hide this so I show up. How's it going, everyone? And welcome to the stream. How y'all doing? Hopefully you are fine and dandy. Let me go ahead and let's get some background music going so we can have some fun. Cool. Increase the volume on here. Nice, nice, nice. My wife just handed me a snack as I was going live, so we'll try this out. So hopefully I had a good week. That was pretty chill. It's gonna rain this weekend. Go figure. I mean, it seems like everywhere it's raining pretty constantly, but especially here in California or the West Coast in general. So it's gonna rain again tomorrow. Luckily, being all the way here down in San Diego, most of the rain tapers off by the time it reaches down here, so it's not like crazy rainy as it is up in Northern California. So that is a relief. That is a definite relief. Hey, looking cat. But yeah, so that's good. So we're going to be doing a challenge. So in 1 hour, we will try working and implementing some stuff. So as the title says, we're going to be working with RedwoodJS and trying to do OAuth stuff. Where we left off, where we were talking last time, it was last stream we were looking over Ruby 3.2 upgrades, and then we were looking over a new library someone introduced, or an example of how to integrate OAuth into a RedwoodJS application. So I thought we'd give that a go and see how that works out for us. And we're going to be integrating that in with our Zeal Redwood template app to see how that goes. So that's going to be interesting. So let's go ahead and just clone it and see how it works out just cloning it directly. So we're just going to go ahead and clone a new repository. And we're just going to start it off Redwood. We're just going to call it Redwood with OAuth and see how things go. And let's do this. So we generated from there. What we'll need to do is, let's just work on it locally. Let's not worry about trying to get this to run in a code space. Let's just keep things simple. We'll run it locally. So let's go ahead and clone the repository, and now let us Redwood with OAuth. So we are in it, and let's follow so let's go through and follow our guide on what we need to do to get this up and running. So we have there's actually setup in here, but it's not actually linked, which is interesting. So that's one thing. Development setup is not actually linked in this guide here, so it's right below. So there needs to be like in the directory there should be a link to that. All right, so let's go through the motions of the setup and see where we go. So while that's going on, let's go try to find the Redwood. Let's go to RedwoodJS and let's check out the forums to see if we can find the OAuth library that was mentioned before, or that someone had implemented. If not, we'll just do a little Google search for it. But I know someone had posted it here, so maybe we will find it. Show intel. Combining DBAuth and OAuth 2. So let's see. So it's still going, which is great because we can just go by this. All right, so here's the guide in question that we are gonna go through. So this is an example app, but there are instructions on here on how to implement this. So does the redirect, no third-party services required, only one external dependency. Yeah, and then there's already a provider for Twitch, so that's probably what we'll end up using. If anyone's watching and is curious, let me just go ahead and post the link into the chat, and we will share it onto the screen so you could see it while we wait for everything else to go. So we're gonna have to do this next, yarn redwood dev. So I'll have to look at the EV file. If not, we'll have to set the session secret if the environment file doesn't have like a simple session secret. We need to follow all the instructions here. We need to follow all the instructions there. You'll need to update your graphical schema as provided in step 3. Also create a session secret and install the necessary dependencies. Okay. So the first thing we'll do is we'll just do all the setup for the app just to make sure that the app is working, up and running, all the type of good stuff. It's a party time. That it is. That it is, Jason. I noticed that StreamYard had like changed the font a little bit on the cards, which is weird because like the font on my user card is awfully big now. It's like really bold, like really bold. I can't help but notice that. All right, we'll just stick with, oh, this is done. Okay, let's swap back to this view then. Okay, so let's do this step. And then if we do yarn dev, see what happens. Let's open this up in a separate, window so we can open up VS Code. This up in VS Code. Ooh, that's actually a content idea I should take note of. As part of the new year, one of the goals is to continually post YouTube content. So one thing is installing VS Code VS Code command line to quickly open a project. There is another quickie. I guess I'll leave this open for decisions on whether this should be a short or an actual tutorial video. It's pretty quick and easy to do, so I feel like it should just be a short versus a full-blown video. Ooh, the computer's chugging slowly. Let's see, what can we do to like reduce the load on the computer? Let's close that. Okay, so the server is supposed to be running, so let's check and see if we get our Hello World Redwood. Hey, there it is, the Redwood template. Nice. All right, now on to the next steps for this. So we did that. Now we need to do YarnDB setup. So I'll run that in here. Let's open this up. Let's blow up the font a little bit. And then we'll start using terminal commands in here from now on. All right, we're ready migrations. Ooh, we have an entity relationship diagram? What? Oh. Can we preview it this way? All right. What do we get out of the box? We have a user, we have a team, we have a memberships, we have a role, we have membership roles, the join table between the roles and the memberships. Cool. So we can, that's nifty. We know what we get in here. All right, so the migration is done. It ran all the scripts. We know we already have a user model or user table with lots of data in it. Cool. And let's just make sure our app actually functions. Like, is it working as is if we run yarn test? Do. No tests found in related files. So do we not have tests? Nothing on the API side. How about on the web side? We do have tests. That's interesting. Here, let's do yarn test web. Maybe we have to, let's be a little bit more specific. Okay, so running tests is a little off, but something to take note of. But that's not our goal. We know the app works. It's running. We can see it. We can see it right there. Let's go and begin our endeavor with trying to set up OAuth in our application now. We only got an hour. We have less than an hour to do this. So let's see how far we can get. If not, we'll continue on the next stream. Alrighty, so this app's already set up with dbauth. Let's see, in our example environment file, are we already configured with a session secret? Yeah, so we have just a generic session secret. Not a big deal because we're just going to be testing this locally. We're not deploying this in production. Let's go ahead and do as it says and add in a new package for handling challenges. So include any additional data from the provider you want to store in your database. For example, if you want to store users Twitch username, you can add it to the user model. So here's the OAuth. Okay, so there's two models here. There's the user. So we have the user and we have OAuth. OAuth is going to contain our OAuth credentials, state, code challenge, code verifier, created at, and then the user. Part of me would have expected the refresh token and the access token to be a part of the, but let's just go with these instructions and and then later on, if we want to add OAuth capabilities, we can figure that out, how to do that. All right, so now we gotta update the model, our database representation of our stuff. So we have our user model here and we want to add in, I don't know what the beta access is, what this beta access key is for. But we're going to be going with Twitch because that's what I'm already familiar with. So why not go with what we know? Refresh token, access token. And then we are adding a new model in, which is an OAuth model. And then we'll put it here just to be alphabetical, O before R. And then this has state, and then this is pointing to our user. Let me check something over here. Okay, so state challenge, so that's our ID, code challenger, and this is referencing back over to our user, which is over here, and that is our user ID, and then user, okay, and then our user is referencing over is a relationship to the OAuth over here. Okay. Let's see what the instructions over here say about running migrations and stuff like that, because I saw that before. So data migrations, okay. So it's been a while since I touched Redwood, so I can't remember exactly how we're supposed to run this migration. Well, we're just following the guide. I believe it's going to ask us to name this migration since we're running it. Let's stop the server. because we're going to run it over here from now on. Okay, we're just gonna wait for this. I'm gonna give it a second for it to run before I impatiently try to figure out what's wrong with it. Let's check. Oh wait, I know why. Let's go back a directory because it had forced us to change a directory to run that. So we weren't in the original root directory, and I probably didn't press enter. Enter the name. So add. So error, foreign key constraint, OAuth user key cannot be implemented. Detailed key column user ID and ID are incompatible types. So text and UUID. Oh, because we're using UUID here. So the way we're referencing a user over here is like this. So let's do the same. So severity parsed, foreign key constraint. So now we're trying it again. Let's align these. INQ. Hey, how's it going? Thanks for stopping by. How have you been? Hopefully you had a good holidays, all that type of good stuff. All right, let's try it again. How am I? I am doing pretty good. I'm doing pretty good. I can't complain. I cannot complain. Oh, okay. User ID and are incompatible types of text and UUID. What? Is it because of how is it because of the state? Okay. So we're trying to reference, so this is trying to do key column user ID and ID are not compatible types text and UID. We are properly setting the relationship. All right, let's not make user optional then. Oh wait, here we go, user ID. Oh, that's what I'm missing. Here, this right here. So here, and then we have to actually say it's a user. Okay. There we go. That's what we're missing. We need to tell it that it's a UID type. So we're telling it there's the association of user. And then we're telling it, okay, the foreign key is going to be stored in user ID. It's a string, yeah, but it actually needs to be a UID column. That's what it is. So how was the week for everyone? Anyone do anything interesting? Learn about anything interesting? Anything awesome? Wait. Now we're getting the exact same thing again. All right, let's do this. So an OAuth, we're going to make it so that an OAuth has to be associated with the user. We can't have an OAuth without a user. I'm pretty sure they do. I'm guessing that they do this. I'm just trying to eliminate all the variables on here to figure out what the hell's going on. Key column user ID and date are incompatible types of text and UID. Really now? And ID references ID. So we're saying the relationship user. So we're saying relationship. Our user ID here is going to reference the ID up here, which is a UID. It's a string, but it's UID. I'm going to swap that. We're on a new unusual territory. Oh, maybe I have to delete this. That's what it is. Because since I modified this, I think this has to be deleted. Because we're not actually modifying the original migration. That's what it is. That's why I keep on encountering the same issues, because we're not overwriting the old migration. So migration the following migration was applied to the database but missing in the local migration Yeah, it's fine. We can just completely reset everything. So add OAuth. I forget the nuances of dealing with Prisma. There we go. Now it's running the seed. There we go. We beat the boss. Happy times are here again. All right, we got past that. Okay, so now we need to modify the provider file. So you'll find that the files for each provider, you can copy one as an example for a new provider. Each provider has the following instructions. So I think this one is in the provider, you'll find files for each provider. So we're going to have to create our own source. So API source lib. And we're just going to follow the same convention where we're going to create a new folder auth and new file providers. Great. And then we're going to add in a provider. We're going to be adding in Twitch as our provider. So let's go find it. So source lib auth. OAuth, that's what it is. So instead of auth, it should be lib OAuth. OAuth. Providers. I wonder if we can just do a straight copy. Hold on, let's read the instructions again on whether it says just the copy over. So modify provider files. So in the provider, you'll find the files for each provider. This is where your backend changes. Now, if you're using provider for authentication, if you're using a provider for authentication. Okay, so this is as far as everything goes. I wish there was a more descriptive. Let's go back. Let's hop over back on the RedwoodJS forums. Because I don't want to like play the old figure out what changed. So OAuth. Let's just search for OAuth. Let's see. Not that one. So this is the one I was originally looking at. There's a better way to extend the client without getting the React warnings. Okay, so here's the instructions on how to do it, but it looks like we'll have to just figure things out ourselves potentially. Let's see. So step one, replacing login functions in DB-auth with redirects for OAuth authority. So let's look up DB-auth. We need to find the DB-auth stuff. Here's the auth stuff. Hey, thank you very much for the follow, Esteban. 420 TX. Greatly appreciate that. Alrighty, so let's put this next to this. So let's go ahead and find our login for our auth provider. Make sure. So our auth provider is using the same one because we're using DBAuth. And then, so this one is using login. So this is replacing the DBAuth with a custom provider. Here's a better way to extend the client. So let's take a look at how it is implemented over here for extending the client then. So we are in web source app TSX. Let's go ahead and open this up in the web editor mode so we can more easily browse the files. So auth provider for them looks identical. Which is very interesting. So where do they handle the routing? So /login is just the login page. Providers. This looks unchanged. I guess let's try just doing it this way. Your custom login stuff goes here. But for this example, they go to routes and then they go to login. OAuth provider. Interesting. This is a lot more complex than they let on. Very interesting. I wish there was a more detailed write-up for how to incorporate this in, because here they do a call out for this. It's like they're just expecting you to clone the app, and that's it. So getting this done in less than an hour is not looking like it's 100% feasible. Because I don't want to blow away our standard login flow. Now RedwoodJS auth, you use auth login function will fetch the URL and redirect the user. And this is on source auth. But we don't have. We don't have similar. All right, let me do yarn dev. And get our app up and running. Do 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 do. Here's our login page. So in the login page for this is using the OAuth flow here. So we can probably modify our own login page to emulate this. Yeah, so we have the regular sign up here, login, sign up here flow. So all the libraries other than save to redirect and use toast are different. So use auth. Reauthenticate. So error. Let's split these. Get rid of the gutter file tree. Now let's begin our adventure for logging in. So login. So use params, we'll need this. Providers, redirection. So we'll need the params for handling redirects and the like. Use params comes from the router. And then use toast we'll leave behind for now. Let's see, session expired. Please log in again. Don't have to worry about that. So on submit sign up. So here's the on submit for to do. So if we get a response message, let's see. Oh, we already have a toast. We're using the built-in RedwoodJS toast. Nice. Okay. I'm going to copy this in because I think what I'm going to try to do is have two separate flows based off of whether we are doing OAuth or doing regular sign up. I believe this is a TypeScript issue, right? Type string is not assignable to type location. Had to figure out how to get it to be happy with that in a little bit later. Routes sign up. Let's export sign up out because we'll actually, I guess we could use it. We can call it explicitly. Like we're doing it down there, because over here they are explicitly grabbing sign. Yeah, we'll just grab it out of here. Sign up. And then, so let's see here. Use auth needs to re-authenticate. Save redirect to. So that's going to come from our redirection handler for the provider. If there's an error, set the error text. And if they are authenticated, are we already handling that here? Yeah, we're already handling that here. So if they're authenticated, we're already redirecting somewhere completely different. So then here's the button for the provider, I believe. From the looks of the code, let's get rid of that for now. Let ESLint take over the rest. And then here's the different buttons for triggering the OAuth providers. So what we will do is we will be using the Twitch one. And we're just gonna put it wherever in here. So I believe this would just probably be Twitch as our provider and our, for this button, for the type in the text. We're almost home free. Out of curiosity, will this page actually... So there's our button in all its glory. We should probably wrap it in button styling. Let's see. RW button. Redwood button. Let's give it a little blue. Let's give it that blue color to it, just so it's a little obvious that it is a button. There we go. Boom. Okay, we got our button. It's not going to do anything. It's going to break. So what will happen next is we'll start incorporating the other components to this flow. So the next thing we'll need to do is we will need the provider's redirection. So source, providers, redirection. So source. So in the web section, we'll be adding a new folder called providers. And then a new folder called redirection. Redirection. And we will just straight up copy and paste redirection JS. Redirection .tsx. Alrighty, so this is probably a lot of just boilerplate. So set state. Okay, so we're having some typing issues here. We'll gloss over it for now. It's not stopping us from developing. They're just plenty of warnings that we need to add the typings in for. Not a big deal. So this is just boilerplate. Approved login providers will be Twitch. And then we need our provider's OAuth section that will help us process the OAuth stuff. OAuth. So there's two files in here. There is the actual file for OAuth. Not new folder, new file, OAuth, TSX. And we'll include the other file because I'm pretty sure it's going to be needed is the GraphQL.js for communicating with the backend. Let's pop in the OAuth TSX stuff. Let's take a look at what's going on in here. I wonder why. Let's switch over and use the toast that's provided by RedwoodJS instead of. Okay. And then we will need our GraphQL stuff. Curious about what's going on in here. So let's see. Use mutation, URL mutation, code grab mutation, revoke mutation. So get OAuth URL. Okay. Then we open up the OAuth URL for the redirection, revocation. And then this is the actual grant flow for getting the OAuth token. And then the provider. Okay, so let's copy in the GraphQL calls that we will need to make to our backend. So that will have to be implemented in the future. We are at time. Let's see, we're still not done with the, I think, so we finished, we got redirection in here, we got OAuth. Why? So what's up with the toast? Okay, the toast isn't, yeah, this version of the toast doesn't matter. So we got OAuth, we had redirection, and then we added in, did we add in auth, the auth folder yet? We haven't encountered the auth folder yet. Utils pop up, loading HTML. We'll have to add this in. So not sure how far along we are yet. We are almost done with incorporating everything on the front end, and then that will point us to the stuff we need to do on the back end for handling it. We've already gotten the table set up. The next thing we'll need to do is set up our API. So we'll have to add in our OAuth query schema, or the schema, update the schema specifically for OAuth, and then our functions and whatever business logic we need in order to handle the scenario for the redirections and saving the user information. Hopefully, since we have the project set up and all that type of good stuff, we'll be able to tackle that next time more smoothly, and we'll see how, and yeah, so we'll see. But it's unfortunate that, you know, it is not, you know, there's documentation here on potentially how to set it up, but it's old, and there's an example app, but that example app doesn't really describe what to do. So we will just roll with the punches, as they say. Yeah, because this is the one we're looking at right here. Alrighty. Let's go to this. Hi, everyone. Thanks for hanging out. Happy to see some old faces and new. I will see you next Friday, and we will continue with our adventure adding in OAuth to our Redwood template and see yeah, just see where the journey takes us. So have a good weekend, and I hope you have. If I don't see you next time, I hope you just have. Hopefully you stay happy, healthy, and all the type of good stuff. All right. So I will catch y'all later. See ya. Peace.